Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Marauders issue number 10. Physical comic book. You feel that? I did. Oh man. Oh man, physical comics back, and I'm loving this. Let's get talking about what, the COVID-19 just happened if you weren't paying attention to the dates. That maybe you're seeing this 10 years from now and saying, I wonder what Professor Bill was thinking 10 years ago about this comic book. Anyway, COVID, we finally got comic books back in the store. Okay, let's get talking about what happened here. Let's talk about who made the comic book first. There was a lot of stuff going on, including a bit of nudity, I'm saying. I ain't complaining about it. All right, let's go. So we got Jerry Dugan doing the writing. We got Stefano Caselli on art. Edgar Delgado doing the color art. VC's Corey Petit doing the letters. And Tom Mueller doing the design. Russell Dauterman and Matt Wilson doing the cover art. And the production is by Jay Bowen. Hey, Jonathan Hickman is still the head of X after all this time. And this is issue 10 of the Marauders. Issue 10 is titled Leave None to Tell the Tale. There's also another name in here. I love that they name a lot of these books twice, including this particular Marauders book. The other title is Send One of Theirs to the Morgue. Dude, what up with that? Okay, now you're going to want to stick around for the thing that happens in here, right? The big, to me, the big things that happens in here. Dude, we start off with Port Genosha, the first distillery on Krakoa. Okay, so Ford shows up and he's talking to Tempo. It's like, you're doing such a good job using your time manipulation to build. Basically, she has time manipulation, but only around herself, so it has to be like, I forget what the distance is, like 15-foot radius, what I'm saying? It's like a 30-foot bubble with herself being in the middle, something like that. I don't remember entirely, but anyway, it's something like that. So she could speed up time, slow down time, whatever, stop time. So she speeds up time around herself. Hopefully it doesn't affect her. I guess even if it does, who cares? Because they'll just reclone her. Hey, she probably shouldn't even have to go and get herself killed by Apocalypse in order to do that. I'm saying. So she's speeding up like 50 years, this whiskey. This is a beautiful thing. Since it's a whole huge freaking distillery, I guess that the way that I can look at this is that it's a new revenue source for the mutants, which is perfect because that's exactly what you need. You can't just trust that these three drugs, it's like big pharma, that's going to be the way to go. What about if you got a totally organic country? I'm saying, all right, what about if you got Hippy Dippyville over in freaking East Bumblescrew, I don't know, this part of the world, right? You don't want to take that chance. So you want to diversify your assets. And when you got somebody like Tempo, hey, selling some aged whiskey and all sorts of other, drinks, that's probably a good thing. So now Sebastian Shaw shows up, and it's so easy to hate this guy because of what he did to Kitty Pryde. He murdered her. And they remind you towards the end of this comic book that, hey, she's still dead. We're not going to quit, but we are going to have to take a break and be like, we might not be able to get her. We're not going to be able to get her back today. Everybody go to sleep. We'll try again tomorrow. I don't think it's our fault. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not our fault. They get it. They understand. Everybody's understanding how dire this is. I do love that they're not giving up on her yet, though. So this is cool. Anyway, when they find out that it's freaking Shaw, the thing that's killing me is that all this buildup, they're just going to point out that it was never in the rules that you can't kill a mutant. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, I didn't realize that applied to Kitty. Well, I don't understand. Anyway, and plus they're just going to bring him back, right? They're probably going to bring him back. Maybe they'll say something cool and satisfying like, you know what? We'll bring you back. But first, you're going to have to sit in this pit for a little while. Well, wait, what? So like, how sick would that be? If they put him in the pit, like right next to Sabretooth, and he had to sit there and talk to an already crazy Sabretooth from being stuck down there for so long, wouldn't that be something? They'd have to boot him off the council first. Otherwise, he would have priority to be resurrected or whatever. Just leave him down there. Be like, we're going to get a substitute for you. Then they'd also have to deal with his son, because his son is starting to like him right now. Shinobi might turn. Anyway, let's not speculate on this too much. So anyway, they're making fun of Shaw, who's just like, this whiskey, it smells so good. Wait, it moves in your mouth. Shut up, dude. Please shut up. I'd smack you, but you just get stronger. Anyway, one of the things that is a little bit weird about this, though, it's like it's a freaking distillery, and Logan is nowhere to be found. I'm sorry, that is a huge oversight, all right? I'm going to point out this guy right here, this big long page of, Sturf. I really like that they do these pages, even when they have the million characters on here, because at first I'm just like, dude, you don't need that many characters in this comic book, brah. Like, you're not going to do it, but it didn't matter, because even if they just showed like one image of some of these guys here, it's still the idea that I'd forgotten that they changed Fabio. I think it's Fabio, his name, Goldballs. You know what I'm saying? I think that Goldballs, I forgot that they actually changed his name to Egg. So it's not much of a, at least they didn't name him Golden Egg. I bet you that was on the table, though. All right, so moving on with this book. Here's a really cool thing. They're in the council. Sinister, of course, is bothered that Emma Frost is super fashionably late. She's like unfashionably late at this point. You're just late at some point, woman. So I think it's Sophie shows up and she's like, hey, sorry, my bad. I'm sure she's one of those who are up here. So here's something that's really awesome. Look at where the thought, it's not just a thought bubble, it's a telepathic thought bubble. Look who it's coming from. And of course he's taking off his helmet in order to do it. I don't think that they do it enough, that they show us enough that Magneto is also telepathic. It's like, I feel they don't show that enough. So I'm really, really super happy to see when somebody starts when somebody starts showing that Magneto is in fact telepathic. I know it makes him super OP, but I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. Very cool. There are 2 white pages in here, and both of them are just letters. One is from Kitty Pryde to Nightcrawler. To Kurt. It's funny, she mentions too, I wouldn't be too surprised if, I wouldn't be too disappointed if you were to get your swashbuckler stuff together and come out and, join me on the Marauder, and like the epic high seas, because I think every single one of us, without fail, we're all saying the same thing. How come Nightcrawler doesn't have his EP out there and he's going out there and fighting with the freaking swords and kicking some butt and taking some names? It's a freaking pirate. Nobody says pirate better than freaking Nightcrawler. No character exemplifies pirate. If there was a guy out there called Pirate High Seasman, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that he would be as pirate-esque as freaking Nightcrawler. So, yeah, duh. And then towards the end, there's the return letter. Obviously, he's making that return letter either, after she left the island or whatever. And it's a letter, too. Yeah, it's an email. You can see, like, it's an email and whatnot. It's just a really weird way to do stuff like that. It's like, do you not have satellite phone level tech to do like text messages or make a phone call? Whatever. They decided to do an email. I remember when emails were new for me. I remember when they were new, period, because I remember when I didn't have internet all throughout high school. There was no such thing for the most part, not, for regular civilians, that is. But like nowadays, I think most kids today will look at this and just be like, really? Email? Who does email? Anyway, maybe it's just me. So at some point, you see these Russians are on a collision course for an iceberg, and all of a sudden I'm getting Titanic vibes in my head. Does anybody remember video cassettes way back in the day, VHS? Remember there were 2 video cassettes stuffed into one sleeve for Titanic? And there were a couple movies like that too. I think Magnolia was one of them, and like, wow, Dances with Wolves was one. Yeah, but anyway, so they show up with the freaking iceberg, and it turns out it's actually the X-Men there, specifically Iceman. He didn't do a whole lot, but he did do something at least. And like you can see his darkened eye. Like actually, look, he's got the heavy mascara on. No, he's like really angry. He's got the darkened eyes because he's really angry. Probably not sleeping a whole lot either. I think that the Marauders know that they lost their favorite. So is what it is. Anyway, here's where we get to the good part. First off, everybody does their part, and then it's like, hey, Emma, it's your turn. Emma Frost shows up with a UFO. She has a UFO, and it's called the Mercury. She's got a UFO. I don't know where this is coming from, but she's got a freaking UFO. And it's controlled by, anybody can be the captain, and there's different ways to control the ship. Christian Frost, Emma's little brother, controls it through a piano. He just starts, you know, dee 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 dee, dee 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 dee. I control the ship, dee dee dee. Yeah, like that. Anyway, so that's cool. And he says, like, you know, anybody who controls a ship will find their own method to control the ship. Cool. I'm down with that. That's cool. I actually dig on that. But then the really cool stuff happens. First off, they have to go to the ship because they find out that Forge, you know, Forge had a partner when he was doing his thing. Storm approaches Forge earlier in the comic, and it's like, hey, you're, you know, everybody seems to have this mutant tech. And I remember I commented on this heavily, and I said, dude, it isn't right. And some people, you know, brushing it off, hey, that's cool, that's cool. Maybe I read more comics than you. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I guess that makes my, you know, my package bigger because I read more comics, right? Anyway, nerddom aside, I did complain heavily, and I said, dude, it doesn't make sense that everybody's got this freaking mutant nullification tech, because that was supposed to be a Forge exclusive. Can we please have an explanation why everybody suddenly has this tech? Oh, now there's actually an explanation. Hey, I almost feel vindicated from the people who are just like, well, what else are people going to do? Maybe one of these days, Professor Bill will read more mean comments, have a conversation about that. So for now, you find out that Forge's partner, his lab partner, he's still alive, and he had a photographic memory. Okay, seems like kind of a brush off, but I'm 100% completely down with that because the tech is now out there. We're going to get more into him later, but they show up, and that's one of the main reasons why they have to go and stop this ship, because, hey, that guy's there, and they're going to keep on using him to improve on this tech. So they come to this one area, Pyro and Emma Frost, here it comes, and y'all know exactly what I'm doing here. And she's like, okay. And she starts talking to Pyro like, oh, yeah, we got to stop these guys. And she starts unbuttoning her blouse. What's this now? And then she just like, oh, yeah, she's fully, hey, so these are my tatas. It's Emma Tata walking up. And she's just like, hey, boys. And she says, you know, eventually you're going to find your betters, but it's not you. And then she just has them all shoot each other in the leg. And then we get another Tata shot. Oh, man, I'm saying, listen. So he's just like, you know, Pyro's like, how'd you control so many at one time? First off, she's uber powerful. I could see her controlling a whole ship full of these guys. I think that would have been a cool scene too. But whatever, we're trying not to overpower these guys. So I'm cool with it just being 4. So she says, is like, how'd you, you know, do that with so many at one time? She says, it's easy when they're all thinking the same thing. I almost shot somebody in the leg. If there was somebody in this room, I would have shot that person in the leg also. I felt the sensation to shoot somebody in the leg because I was thinking the exact same damn. Whatever these guys were thinking, I promise you I was thinking the exact same damn thing. Oh my God, I almost had to pause the video and go rub it off in the corner. Holy crap, to be Stefan Caselli. Imagine you're Stefano Caselli. And you're sitting there and you're just like, you know, and let's put Edgar Delgado in there also, because you can see the shading. I'm touching her boobs. I'm touching her cleavage. Anyway, when you're sitting there and just like, oh, I got another Marauders book coming in. Oh, the email just came in. Let's take a look at, you know, Jerry Dugan's notes. Let's see what he's got me drawing this time. And he's like, stuff. Yeah, bad stuff. Yeah, sad stuff. Yeah, getting drunk. Yeah, UFO, that's cute. Yeah, Emma's breasts. Yeah, but whoa, back up. Imagine getting that and it's like, I get to draw several panels of Emma Frost's breasts. Stefano Caselli should have done this comic book for free. So, like, you do get a lot of characters in this. Like that earlier page that I showed you with all the characters on it, all of them show up, and more. You actually get to see Callisto here, and she pulls off her thing, and she's just like, we still don't know if she's actually got her mutant powers back or not. We're not entirely sure, right? But tracking and, you know, intuitive tracking, spike tracking, and all that stuff, be damned. She's quick, and she knows how to use her freaking knives. You know what I'm saying? So, hey. Anyway, they stop the captain. They beat up all these guys. They get people start bowing to Emma and the and the cuckoos, and yeah, man, I'm saying also. Like, you actually get UFO scenes where, like, people are being kidnapped. They're gonna think that they're gonna go through like a month of processing, think that they were probed and stuff like that. They're gonna forget stuff, everything for a month, and then pretty soon she basically Clockwork Orange them, because like, yeah, anytime that you see anybody being oppressed, oh, not just Muslims, not just mutants, which is one of the groups in there, but also Muslims, also Jews, also crippled people, also I guess you'd say handicapped people. The world's changing too fast with the dialogue. It is what it is. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. What do you call it? If you see, I don't know, anybody with any kind of a disability or any kind of a minority, or they say a trans person here, anybody who is not normal, then you know, you're going to feel bad for these people, and it's going to hurt you. It's going to fill you with pain, and you're going to want to try and help these people out. Can we possibly make that a real thing? It's a Clockwork Orange thing. Like, go and see, if you didn't see the movie Clockwork Orange, go and see that. It's a Stanley Kubrick film. It's a really good film. There's boobies in there too, but not in a way that I think you're going to want to see them. Anyway, yeah, really solid, good stuff. So this whole entire thing, like, dude, they get to draw freaking UFOs doing kidnappings, dude. So loving on this. Here's where it actually starts to get really sad. All right, the stuff at the end. The stuff all the way at the end. Excuse me, there was a sneeze there. I edited it out. You're welcome. So anyway, what you have here at the end is Forge's lab partner. And they're hanging out, and, you know, they're on the beach, and it's like, I'm never going to be allowed to go home, am I? This is truly heartbreaking. And I know that we're all rooting on the mutants, but at the same time, remember that we're currently rooting on the people who are being bullies. Sure, they have a thing where you're not allowed to kill humans. That's really great, especially if you're one of the humans who winds up having your arm, you know, frozen off, or get yourself shot in the kneecap, which is never going to heal properly. You know, I used to be an adventurer on the high seas till I took an arrow to the knee. Like, come on, man. Like, this is really, really messed up. So, granted, they're humans who deserve it. At the end of the day, though, it's like, who are the actual good guys here? Here's this guy. Here's Forge's lab partner, and Forge is like, "Hey, I missed you, man. What's going on? It's good to see you again." He's like, "Oh, it's so good to see you again too, Forge. Like, you know, we's tight, right?" It's like, "Yeah, we're tight. Oh man, hey, you were holding back, weren't you? Because you had a time limit on those mutant nullification things. You didn't make it permanent like I made it. I made those things permanent, but you made them temporary." And he's like, "Yes, I did it temporary. Also, did you look deeper into the stuff? I actually had on the chipset in there that I made for it, I wrote in little help letters to you. Did you see that?" And Forge's like, no, I didn't see that. I didn't see that at all, man." But, you know, it's a shame you have a eidetic memory. It's a shame you have a photographic memory. It's one thing to not be able to leave the island. It's one thing for the mutants to say, "Listen, we're going to bring your family in, you know, or whatever loved ones you got. Like, look, we got to, like, could you do this solid?" They didn't ask him. They didn't even ask him. Maybe they probed his mind and knew that he wouldn't do it. I don't know how they don't have any, like, doing telepathy and stuff like that isn't going to let you see somebody's intentions or for the future. You know, even if you mind probe them, how much are you going to get from them? Like, would the guy have chosen to stay on the island or not? But at the end of the day, like, they really done this dude dirty. He did everything he can to help the mutants out. Everything. Mutants who, mind you, can't die. They can't die now. You kill them, they come back. Death is irrelevant, right? And here's this dude who even put out a message in a bottle on a chip. That should be freaking Forge's forte. They could have found these guys a whole lot sooner. Forge would have just simply looked a little bit harder, you know? I've seen episodes of or read comic books before, issues of comic books before, where, like, The Fantastic Four will go and they'll actually investigate a freaking a disease, a virus, and they would see, hey, it's actually got Doctor Strange's or Doctor Doom's signature on it. What? And he's like, yeah, I patented this virus that's going to kill people. It's not illegal, and I want people to know it was me. So hey, it's like Forge could have done something very similar, but he didn't. So Emma Frost shows up, and Forge knew this was going to happen. Show up, and they erase his mind. So now he's got to live in bliss. They're controlling humans' minds. Oh, well, they didn't kill him, right? He's got to go to basically the Morlock wasteland. He's going to be out there playing golf with Mask. The only time that Mask was in here, even though he was shown in the beginning of the comic book, it's 1, 2, 3 panels plus a hand and his golf putt. So whatever of him playing golf and saying, yeah, none of us really like playing this game. Think about that. None of us really like playing this game, but we think that we're going to like having you here. That's Forge's old lab partner. If none of them actually like playing this game, why are they there in the first place? This leads to so many questions. Why are they stuck there playing golf? Yeah, it's weird, man. Like, there's nothing, it's only golf for them, that's it? Otherwise, there's nothing for you to do? That's really deep. That is really deep, and it's messed up. And now they go and they stick this guy here. The unwanted, but too dangerous to be let go. None of it's fair. None of it's right. And we could all make the same, well, the ends have to justify the means thing. But I think that most of us understand exactly what that actually means, right? What that actually entails. It'll entail stuff like this. This is dirty. This is dirty. But hey, what do I care? I got to see Emma Frost's boobs. This was a phenomenal, excellent, awesome comic book. Also, wait a second, we can actually hire Marvel writers and artists and letterers to make a whole page advertising our stuff. Hey, guys, they did this. Go and check out joywavemusic.com. Possession is out now. Go even if you're not going to buy something, at least go and look at the web page. I'm going to, because wow, wow, they did a whole thing with Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy. You know what I'm saying? A whole page of a comic book just to advertise their stuff. I'm saying that's kind of cool. I'm not going to complain about that. That's awesome. Can we get more advertisements like that, please? Anyway, loved this issue. We get a much deeper insight and confirmation about a lot of things in regards to the mutants and their actions, the way they're being, the way they're not really heroes anymore, dude. And I'm digging on it. Definitely digging on it. And hey, maybe as you consider looking at some of these other videos up in here, you can also consider allowing an ad to play at the beginning and at the very least the end of the video, because that is the only way that YouTube creators actually get paid. Seriously, it's the only way that we get paid, unless you're a Patreon member or something like that, So I'm saying consider it, but that's all of us. Just, you don't have to click on anything. Just don't click away from anything. And I'm out. Don't forget to like the video also, because it spreads the message. More people to watch ads. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it from me. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.